Welcome to the actual play with Just One More Fix. This is James. With me in this episode is Lacey, Holly, and Taffy.
Hey. Hi.
You can find us online at justmoorefix.com or on Twitter at justmoorefix. If you like us, you can support us at Patreon, and you can give us a rating and review at iTunes or wherever you find us at. In this episode, we're going to continue playing Night Witches. And now, it's time to get our gaming fix.
You're about to listen to another episode of our Night Witches actual play. These episodes have some mature themes involving the tragedies of war, so you've been warned. We rejoin our Russian airwomen as we have a short review of the previous sessions, and they are assigned to their third duty station. So without any further ado, here is Night Witches.
Alrighty, so do you guys want to, this is the start of session 5, so do you guys want to recap the last session and what you guys can recall from that? Because that was the completion of your guys' deployment at Trud Gornyaka. This thing is going to make me... taking it away.
Aww. He took all of your sparkles.
Oh,
do you know how that
was
origami?
stealing my sparkles.
May I offer you a new distraction? I remember at the end, a plane crashed. I don't remember.
I think we almost died, didn't we?
That was before. That we
No,
almost
at the
died.
very
Not
end.
that one, but didn't we?
Every time.
Yeah, we almost died like every time.
It was about spit take theater there for a minute.
Yeah, you two have gotten a lot closer than anyone else.
I think so, because,
yeah.
Traumatic behind enemy lines
we did.
experience.
I remember I went back to town to get something, and we checked on the people, the guy and the grandkids, and she still had the little girl had the wings that I gave her.
Mm-hmm.
There was a big party.
There was a big
You were making out with what's-his-face.
Mikhail.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you were not having it.
I was not, because I've found myself in a difficult position.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And you talked to the people about the stuff, and they were like, hey, what did they... NKVD. Yeah. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. Didn't we... You got up in what's-her-name's face.
That was bad.
Yeah, it was probably a bad idea, but it...
And upon finding out what was going on with the party, I had to tell Vera, let's just go back because I don't want to have to report you for being here. Because now I'm in this position where they're watching me and expecting me to report things.
And she tried to get Yuri in trouble because he was drinking at the party.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she was... Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And Yuri went missing.
Got
missing.
shipped off.
Yeah. He got shipped off and then was missing because your fella came back.
Yeah.
And then...
And we asked him, like, do you
'cause
know?
I was in
Do you
the
have any
hospital.
news? You were, yeah.
So
and
we
I came
did
to
it.
talk to you because I'm
Yeah.
like, I came to talk to you. I'm like,
I was in the hospital
so,
when Yuri shipped off.
yeah.
Yeah, because he left the note in the ring that you wore.
Yeah. So Yuri's missing. And so,
And you got injured later because you were in the hospital when he came and found me because I was like, what are you doing here? Oh, Dosh is in the hospital.
my
by the
plane
way.
crashed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's all coming back.
No, I'm just singing Meatloaf in my head.
But then we had another mission after that.
We did. What happened? Because she wasn't with us in that mission.
That was our big one. We were providing distracting fire to try
On the
and
rail line?
get the troops to...
Yes.
Was it the rail line?
We did really good on that, though. Because
I can't remember.
I think we rolled really
I
well.
think that might have been the one right before.
For that.
I think the rail line was before.
Okay.
Was it?
And then the next
this
one
was
was
the next one.
bridge.
And they were doing
Wait,
like
isn't it
big
on our
troop
paper?
movement, like pushing
Yes.
back.
Yeah.
Isn't it on our
Okay.
paper? Didn't it say on the sheet
Yeah,
what we did?
it does. It does. I just remember at the end of the night, I don't have the paper from last time, but at the end of the night, I wrote plane crashed.
Yeah, so supporting the retreat from
Rustav
on Don by harassing German ordnance depots.
Okay.
That was the last one we did. And we had to fly through the enemy fire first to even get there.
Yeah. Was Yellowtail there? I don't remember.
No, you
hasn't
guys have
been
not
anywhere.
had another
He was at
encounter
the
with
one before
Yellowtail.
that.
Okay, that's
He's-
what I
This
thought.
is...
I can't find my book that I had on my notes, and
He hasn't been there since the first.
That's the
We
second
put
to
the
last
giant gun on the plane and we found him, and then we haven't
Seen him
Correct.
since.
seen him since then.
Yeah, the rail car mounted anti-aircraft guns was the one before
Okay.
this one.
Yeah.
Where I didn't. go past that one.
Wait, how did you get hurt? I don't remember. I should have
shot.
listened to this stuff. Did you get shot? You did. Oh, through the plane, yeah. Because you... was that when I was with you, or you were with somebody else? Yeah, because
She was with an
the
NPC.
next person died. We had another person die.
Sonia or... No. I didn't write that one down. That was the first person that died.
There's an Olya with a KIA. There's a Sonia with a KIA.
All of our people keep getting killed.
There's a Katya with wounded in action.
I think
Oh,
it
yeah.
was
Katja was
Olya.
all jacked up.
I think it was Olya.
Died because you got
She's
shot.
still actually on
Well, and the
list.
fact that all of these new people are given to us and then we kill them has aroused suspicion.
Yes, that's right, because we
And I was
surprisingly
questioned
come
about
out.
it.
They keep saying we come out unscathed. However, you've been in the hospital. She's been in the hospital.
Vera has not been in
She
the hospital.
hasn't. And I wasn't in the hospital either, I don't think.
No, Vera hasn't been in the hospital. I think she may have been
has
there one time.
She
I don't think
got
so. I think she went.
She got a
hates it.
letter
She
and
hates
got
the hospitals.
grounded.
Yeah.
You grounded her once for whatever. She got a letter and she couldn't go on our mission with us, but I don't think she's ever gotten hurt.
All right, so we have Captain Olga Barskova, who is still the regimental Polititruk,
My best friend.
and we have Lieutenant Svetlana,
Is the deputy?
correct, Shirmeteva. And then we have Oksana, which was one of the women that flew with you guys. Nina, which is one of the mechanics for you guys.
That's the one that Vera liked.
And Junior Lieutenant
And
Diana.
me. She's my friend.
Yep. And I believe she was
your
the one
friend,
that
that's
replaced one of your, replaced Vera when she got grounded, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah, we didn't like her look, how grumpy she looks. We were like, oh, she's very severe. Like,
She's legit. All business, no play.
All right, so I want you to pick out one of those and then pass it around, and each of you pick out one.
So now since we are changing duty stations, do we change our roles?
Yes, if you would like to change your role, you may. However, if you want to hang on a second, we're going to do something before you get there.
I like this one. She's all like, duck face before it's popular.
Oh, yeah, that one. Oh, she totally is.
This is the Trenton face.
This one?
sure, why not? She looks friendly enough. She looks like she giggles a lot. Maybe we need some of that.
Some giggling.
I don't know.
little more
Don't you giggle a lot in the military? Sounds awesome.
This one looks like Harry.
Oh, it does.
This looks just
Well,
like
it really
Harry.
does.
That's funny. I'm gonna choose this one.
Ooh, she looks like she's better than everyone else.
Yeah, she does. I think she'll be interesting. She's gonna have an attitude problem.
Oh boy. Hey, do you remember you got upset with me?
I did.
Because I got a medal.
Oh yeah,
And no one else did.
I was like, this is bullcrap.
You were like,
was
hold
in
up,
the same
bitch.
plane.
We all got shot at too.
I do remember that.
Yeah. And I was like, but I don't know what to do about that one. I've thought about that since then a lot.
I was like, what the heck? We're all doing what we can. What did you do that was so special? I was like, this is ridiculous. We've almost died.
Not mouth off to superiors. That's what she
As it turns out, that goes a long way.
They give medals for that.
Right? Oh yeah, and then I went and had a drink with Lobodeva.
Lobodeva?
No, was it her? No, it was Petrova.
Oh, the training logistics officer.
Yeah.
Senior
Petrova.
Lieutenant Petrova.
Yeah, I went and had a drink with her because I was
Bond.
bitching because I was like, this is bullshit.
Right, so I remember...
I'm sick of this.
Like, these Polititruk people are terrible. And she was like, you're not wrong.
I remember that. That was amazing, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sick of this. Frankly, can I speak frankly? Because I'm tired of it.
Yeah, you opened up quite a bit, took a pretty good sized risk.
And she was like, well.
I was nervous for you when you were doing that.
I know, me too. I was like, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Right.
Man.
Well, there was some information out there. I don't think that everyone had all the pieces, but I think because someone knew that Petrova was in the sights of the regimental Polititruk, so there was some...
Oh yeah, because I think at another time I was trying to like talk up Petrova, and they were like, well, yeah, that's her job, so
Right.
duh, get
Yeah.
over it. And I was like,
But it's interesting to me because you're one of my people that I have regard for, so
Yeah.
if there ends up being like...
so now I'm like upset at you, and you're like, oh no.
Well, yeah, and because it could change that too, like somehow.
Bad regard.
Okay,
Well, no,
so...
like maybe I'll be afraid of you.
I have regard for you, and then my broken, not existent plane anymore.
let's just real quick go through some NPCs that have you guys have come in contact with and how those interactions have been. So Yuri, right? Was it Sergeant Yuri?
Mm-hmm. What do you mean was?
Was?
Yes, it is Sergeant Yuri.
Sorry, my bad.
He will come back to her.
You were romantically interested in him, right?
We were engaged.
I would say that's pretty romantic.
Affianced, if you will. That's one of my favorite words.
Affianced.
Affianced, yeah. Alrighty, then we have Ruslan. Captain Ruslan, right?
Yes. That was Carrie's interest, who was married.
Yep.
Correct.
That Vera.
Some drama there as she went to report Yuri and encountered him
The wife?
and the Polititruk and everybody at the...
Not a cold, distant marriage in appearance either.
No, correct.
No. I believe he was described as Silver Fox, if I remember right, too,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. We have Senior Lieutenant Petrova, which we've already mentioned, the training officer. And she was your guys' training officer from the very beginning, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Then we have Captain Olga Barsukova, Captain Olga Barsukova, who is the regimental Polititruk. All right, then we have Private Sergei. He was the Russian bear, right?
The Russian bear.
Zabel.
Dasha's fella.
My
Yes.
fella.
He has an interest in her that may or may not be mutual. We'll see.
That hasn't really had the chance to develop or anything because
Correct.
I was
She's a
spending a lot of
woman
time
of
getting in
focus.
trouble.
She's a woman of focus.
I mean,
Not to be distracted by big bears.
but is it just that, or is it? I mean, you were awfully friendly with what's that chick's name?
Nina as well.
Nina, yep.
Friendly.
She was the mechanic, right?
Yes.
All right, and then we have the deputy Polititruk, Lieutenant Sveta,
Who's not as awful.
Shermateva, right, who is not as hard, so like a good cop, bad cop deal. And then we have Major Bershanskaya, who is the regimental commander.
No, but who's the one that Vera's obsessed with?
That is
Maria
Roskova.
Roskova?
Marina
Okay.
Roskova.
Marina.
Yeah.
Roskova.
Correct. So outside of those, are there any... And then we have, I think we already mentioned before, Oksana, who is in the plane with you guys.
Yes.
You didn't mention Cookie Boy's name.
Mikhail.
Oh, Mikhail. I don't...
You might want to remember him.
Yeah, no, I do remember him because I have big plans for Mikhail.
Oh no. That's never a good thing.
I mean, forget him entirely. What was his name? Nikolai?
Yeah. That's it.
And there was another one that I promised. He got me the the giant weapon.
Oh,
and
the
I
greasy
yeah.
kind of car salesman kind of guy.
I might get out of that one by leaving.
Moving
But
to a different duty station.
Possibly.
Vasily.
Yeah.
That feels right.
that's
Yeah.
totally right.
That sounds like a greasy name.
It totally does.
It does. Apologies to all the Vasilis out there. Not really.
The sheet up here says # Team Owlbear. I don't know what that's about.
I'm not sure either. Awesome.
Oh, I'm a lieutenant now. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
I
ranks
feel like it
are...
had to do with Dasha being the owl, and then we thought it was funny that what's his name was the bear.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, that's right. # Team Owlbear. That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
I'm legendary.
I still
bitches.
need to.
Right on. So what's your rank now, Lacey?
Senior lieutenant.
Senior lieutenant?
Yep.
All right, and Holly? You're
Is lieutenant.
lieutenant? And Taffy?
Also lieutenant.
Lieutenant. Very good.
I feel like I'm important. Senior lieutenant. That sounds serious.
You're always the one that's the front man. 'Cause that's why you take the heat for things.
I believe there's a conspiracy to keep you in that position
I
as
believe
well. If I
so.
remember correctly, like, if I buy this medal though, then that makes me, I don't know.
That was totally me. I'm like, please
good.
come back to the front because I am totally not ready to lead, and I'm next in line, and
You are.
I don't think I can do this.
You're next.
All right, so why don't we just go around and we can review your guys' regards, and then I think we'll be ready to get things going. So, Holly, do you want to start?
What?
Your regards.
My regards. Oh, I have trust in the Tibrit most and respect for Yulia.
Tibrit is gone.
Yes.
So,
But it says you.
right, there'll be a point where you can reassign one. So just you may want to take note of that because that plane is gone.
Right.
And
But
then
I don't think, like.
Huh?
Because I couldn't take it. I couldn't change it yet.
Yeah.
Because you can only change it or take it off or something when you get like special stuff.
It's one of the moves.
Okay.
It gets triggered during one of the moves. I can't remember which one.
It's the debrief one, I think. Yeah, if you wish, change the tone of it.
There's you can do it when you reach out as well. You can change regard.
Oh, I have
for something else as well.
Okay, gotcha.
So just keep that in mind. So
I have.
Those are the only two I have.
Oh, okay.
The respect for you.
I have regard for Galia, respect the most. Zagnut the Plain, I trust the most. Yulia, respect. And Vera, respect.
Very good.
So I trust Dasha the most. I resent Suka the most. And I love Galia the most.
Wow. Yay! So what is our plane situation when it ended at Trud Gornyaka?
I think we only had 2 left, didn't we?
No, we still have 4.
Oh.
All 3 of the ones we flew in the operation are damaged, though.
Okay. So erase the damage from the ones that are still repairable, but if any of them were fiery wrecks, they are gone.
I don't think so.
They will be start off repaired after you guys sort of change duty stations. They get refitted and repaired and whatnot. So before I give you guys the duty station sheet here, there is the first sentence that comes off of it is that there is a 6-month time period that takes place between when you guys finish your missions at Trud Gornyaka to where you move to the third duty station. So in that time, I think it kind of makes sense that you guys will probably go home to see your loved ones and whatever. So what is it that you guys would do? Like if you were to sort of like distill it down into a montage of like one specific moment, what do you think that would be like?
Well, I can say, as Dasha, the entire time I've been fighting in a plane, my grandfather has thought that I have an office job, and I think that I owe him an explanation.
Okay.
I think I'll go home and come clean.
Right on.
Considering that several times I have been pretty close to being returned home to him in a box.
Right.
I feel like it's time to let him know. And also because things have happened that in my small town life, I have not been equipped to deal with. People have always liked me, sought my company, thought I was amazing because I was, bookish and smart.
Right.
And here in the military, having your nose in a book doesn't exactly translate to being tough as nails and surviving and things like that. So now I've encountered people that don't care much for me. I've encountered things that have taken like every ounce of courage I can muster up. And I've gotten a medal that everyone deserved and only I got. And I really would like to talk to him and find out how he can guide me toward coming back and being a little bit better at life in the military or in general.
I think the way you describe that and the fact that you were sort of deceptive initially about what you did, I think that sounds like sort of like getting your nerve up to go talk to him and kind of confess in a way, right? Mm-hmm. So go ahead and roll plus guts for me.
Okay. So I just rolled a 12.
Oh my
and
God,
I have a negative 1 to guts, so 11 total.
Right on. So I had kind of came up with a couple custom moves for you guys, for each of you individually, for when you would go home, depending on what you would do. So with boxcars, the talk goes well. He'll you kind of open up and kind of. I think it's one of those moments where it's hard to open up initially, and then once it starts, it just floods out of you, right? Because I imagine you feel kind of bad about the deception initially, right?
Oh, for sure. So, yeah, definitely. He's like my only family.
Right. Okay. So I think there's this moment where you just let it all go. And I think that he will confess to you as well, his time in the war, when he was in the military, that sometimes people get rewarded for funny things, and maybe that happened to him as well. And in those moments when that does happen and you get that reward, then that means he kind of impresses on you that means it's more important for you to step up and show that even though you didn't earn that medal in that moment, that you still deserve to be rewarded for what you're doing, and that you need to be there for your fellow sisters, I guess, in combat in this case. And with a 12, I'm going to say that you can hold 3, okay? And you can spend those to take +1 forward on any role that involves stepping up to, like, do extra for your fellow airwoman, right?
Awesome. Okay.
That's cool. I'm going to call them Golden Girl. Golden Girl points. Yeah.
And,
That's right.
so you'll also get the feeling that, I know you mentioned, you guys had corresponded back and forth with your grandfather, that he, once you open up to him, he tells you that he knew something wasn't right the entire time. That, he may not have known exactly what it was, but there was definitely some, he had his suspicions. So, but that he's glad that you sort of, come forward and whatever.
Well,
Dasha Ergalia? Or Yulia Ergalia? I'm sorry.
I have a depressing and unfulfilling life outside of
Right.
the military, and I feel terrible right now. So I think I've got a couple of plans for what I'm going to do. So I would like to go back to where I'm from. I'm forgetting. It's a major city.
I think it's on your thing. It should tell, I thought. Yeah, hometown.
A series of orphanages is what it says.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, I'm going to go to the last one I was at, which was where my sister died. So, Natalia, I missed her
Yeah, you mentioned you missed
funeral
her
and all of that because I was signing up to the military. But I want to go back there. And what season is it right now?
Cold.
So, where is...
Well, it's Russia.
It's always winter in Russia. So it's actually fall when you guys leave Trud Gornyaka. So like September-ish, October-ish,
Okay.
1942.
Okay. So I'm sure there's something that you always do without an orphanage that regular people take for granted. And like I get paid probably pretty decently doing
Right.
what we do, and I don't have anybody to spend it on. So I would like to buy something to take to the girls at the orphanage
Okay.
and kind of just like visit them and be like, hey, this is where I came from too, and now you hear about me on the radio.
Maybe
and
a swing set. They had those boards.
I was thinking like shoes or something like
Something actually
useful, but a swing set is cool. Food,
So maybe loads of, like, lots and lots of shoes and maybe some sweets of some kind?
Yeah.
Like a box of
Yeah.
candy? Okay.
Holly's a fun mom.
Who cares about shoes? Nah.
You don't need them on the swing set.
It's only winter and you're in frostbitten toes. It's fine. You don't need your toes.
So yeah, I'm gonna go to the orphanage and try and just like make these kids feel better about maybe their life won't end in terrible soul-sucking
Right.
tragedy.
So are you doing this sort of to make yourself feel better? Or is this just to make them feel better? Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's definitely both.
Okay. If you had to say which way the needle tips more towards, which way would that be?
I think it tips more towards helping them.
Okay.
Because I have another more selfish task that I'm planning.
What is that?
I'll tell you in a minute.
Well, tell me now. What?
Why do I tell you now? Because it's not happening right now. So there's 3 things I want to do.
Okay.
So this is thing number 1. The other thing I want to do is try and track down Sergeant Yuri's family and go introduce myself to them.
Are you going to take the letter and show them?
No. No.
What if they're like, he's missing?
Okay. I'm a senior lieutenant in the military, so they can take issue if they want. But
And what's the third
are
thing?
you accusing me of something? How'd you like to be missing too? No, I'm kidding.
What's the third thing?
Go visit Papa Smurf and the 2 kids back in the village.
Nice.
No, it's not Ivan.
Ivan was
Igor.
before.
Igor.
Or
Igor? And the 2 kids.
No, Igor is the guy that owned the bar.
yeah, I was
And his
wife.
And his
They make-
wife.
Ira and
Yeah.
the other kid.
Ira and Fedor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the grandfather's name is Fedor as well. So it was Little
Oh, yeah.
Fedor, actually.
Little Fedor.
So,
That's my SoundCloud name.
okay. Well,
Yep.
those two, I feel like, kind
Fresh
of go
beats.
together in that it's like you're trying to find, I think the larger one is probably going back to Sergeant Yuri's family, I feel like.
It's
Right?
definitely the most depressing.
So
That's why I was going to do it in the middle. I was like getting myself pumped with the orphans.
I can do this.
And then I was going to go over there. And then I was going to go visit Ira and little Fedor just because I knew that they'd be really happy to see me and it would make me feel better.
Very good.
They're like my fake family.
Like, I'm going to come back one day and adopt you guys when I'm done.
You can be their benefactor, right? That's a thing.
I'm totally sending the money already.
Yeah. We both are, I think.
Like, awesome. They feed me at the military base. So I got everything I need. Boots that sort of fit.
Kind of. They're only one size too big.
When you go to see Sergeant Yuri's family, how are you approaching the situation? Do you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have the address. You're gonna go knock on the door. The door's gonna open, and there is gonna be standing. I'm gonna say his mom, an older looking woman. You would presume is his mom. So how is it like? How are you going about this? How do you see the scene playing out? Like, what's your goal or whatever?
I don't really have a goal. I just wanted to meet them. And be, like tell them like, hey, Yuri, and give me a ring. Like we were going to get married, but just say he sent me a letter and I'm not sure if he's coming back. Like I haven't heard bad news, but it didn't sound good.
Right. So I kind of feel like this is Guts as well. Because Guts is for like tempting fate. It's also acting like a lady is a Guts. So go ahead and roll plus Guts for me.
Yeah, 7.
A 7? All right, so I think you come out here, and I think Yuri comes from, like, a small family farm, right? Mm-hmm. So they have, it's adequate. They're farmers, so they have food. It's even if you're poor, generally, the farmers, they have food of some kind, unless there's some kind of a famine. So they live a modest life, but it's comfortable, and I think Yuri's probably the oldest, so there's a bunch of, he has a bunch of younger siblings, right? And then he's young for a soldier anyway, so maybe 18, 20, something like that. And are you going to tell them everything, like the ring and the whole bit and whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I don't want them to, think that everything's going fine and hunky-dory and just not tell
right.
them, because otherwise, why would I be here? You know what I mean? Like.
Right. So, on a 7, I think they've obviously got word about Yuri, going missing and not coming back. So I think his mom hasn't given up hope, but she sort of like clings to you in a way as a place to put hope, right? And that there's this, like, you're an orphan, right? So you haven't really experienced, like the sort of mother-daughter relationship or whatever, but that's sort of like, kind of like what's happening, except it would be almost mother and daughter-in-law, or however you wanted to take that. And I think that they'd invite you to stay there for a while if you had time, and then you could spend sort of time working this farm for a little while if you wanted to, and enjoying some rural life around a family with children underfoot and whatever, if you would do that.
I think I will make ample excuse to leave and tell them I have to go visit my family.
Okay. So I think that's probably the cost part of this, is that you don't stay there as long as you could. You feel bad about it, and you don't want to be there entirely yet. But what I will say is that this family has sort of like reached out to you in a way. Mm-hmm. And then so it's going to be like, to hold one, and you can spend that to reach out to them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And because of your relationship with Yuri, you can take +1 forward for that role. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Gallia, what are you doing with your 6-month time off?
Well, I'm going to only go home for about a month and visit my sister a little bit. My parents and I argued because they didn't want me to go. They thought that I should stay and do my part by helping out in Bratsk. But I disagreed, and I was like, I'm going to do this. So we haven't spoken much, but my sister still very much cares about me. And so over this time, like, she's, had more children, or another child, I would imagine. So I'm spending some time with her so she knows that, I'm still doing okay and everything like that. And but the rest of the time I'm actually going to spend in the Trud Gornyaka, just trying to help that town and stuff like that, because of course, Fedor and little Fedor and Ira are all there. And so I'm going to spend a lot of my time there and convince Mikhail to stay with me, too, and try to enjoy some life, because I've almost died a few times, so I want to enjoy the bit of life that I have before I have to go and be constantly on duty again and not be able to spend time with
Very
them.
good. Oh, right on.
So that's my biggest thing. Like, I want to help the town, so I'll try to work doing whatever I can to help Trud Gornyaka in any way that I can, and basically helping Fedor, little Fedor, and Ira.
Okay. Well, staying here, I think, and spending time with Mikhail, that there's going to be, since you guys aren't married or anything like that, there's always going to be the potential for like someone to say something or whatever, right? Or someone who's going to be like, this is not right and this shouldn't be happening, kind of a thing. So go ahead and roll plus luck for me.
Boxcars! And I got a +2 for luck. Oh, yeah!
Right on. So it goes perfectly. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just divine intervention or maybe it's just dumb luck, but whenever there's those moments where you guys want to slip away and have a quiet moment somewhere, those moments come and go without anyone realizing unless you want them to. It just goes off completely perfectly. It's almost like a magical time of you being here, sort of trying to get things worked out for these kids and making sure they're taken care of, and they are very happy to see you, and they, sort of warm right up to you. They already had anyway. Yeah. But even more so now.
Yeah. And I'm kind of like mentoring the girl and stuff like that, trying to get her like more, on the path and everything. I mean, she's already wants to do, her part and everything, but I'm just kind of like teaching her little things. I mean, her grandmother's gone, so she doesn't really have a very strong woman influence except Yulia and I, so.
Very good.
And she doesn't get to see us often, so that way, kind of like that. So that's what I will, and so what I'll have set it up as, like, that, I can't remember where they were staying. I think the bar, what's the bar keep's name? Or hit
Eagle.
the Eagle. Yeah. I think they had set Fedor and them up with like a little place. So I'll stay with them, and then maybe like Mikhail stays with like at the inn or something, and so then, and we're just obviously, two people in the town that are, trying to make it better.
Just trying to make the town better.
So they don't really give us a second glance.
Right,
We're doing so many good things, helping everybody.
Right. Well, with a 14, it goes off completely without a hitch. So, I guess, are you going to be like intimate with Mikhail? Is it going to go? Are you going to progress things to that point? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it goes not like boom, but I mean, we're we've been talking for a while.
I understand.
And I'm like, I mean, obviously 3 of our people have died. So
right. Oh yeah. No, I agree.
I'm like,
I agree. You want to live life. Before it ends.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's almost ended multiple times. But not just in like a flingy way. Like it's like a serious kind of, relationship. Which was a very big deal because Galia was very not like that, like at all. She was very by the book.
Okay, so I think that we'll do this. I think that you can hold 2. And you can spend those to take +1 forward in any situation where, like, I feel like you have this new lease on life a little bit, right? And that you, sort of mentoring, this young girl and whatever, and experiencing a little bit of what life is like, that all of you are pretty young when you start. So it's sort of like when, like, you're an adult, but you're not really an adult yet. You know what I'm saying? And I think so you can spend those anytime that you're trying to, stand up for yourself, or like in a like not be bullied or pushed around, or even those around you. You know what I mean? To stand up for someone else that is important to you. Are we good? Alrighty. And of course, all of the stuff that comes along with Mikhail, because. So, alrighty. So I suppose I will hand this.
She still ranks slightly above the rest.
We're just drawing the vase, guys.
Okay.
So just start at the top and we'll go through things on there. As you guys arrive at the 3rd duty station, which is at...
Pashkovskya?
Yep. And it is March 1943.
Okay, so 6 months have passed from a hastily converted civilian airfield here in Pashkovskya. You are supporting the Black Sea Fleet in the battle for the Caucasus. The Germans are pushing hard, but you are pushing harder. You're sharing the field with the celebrated and all-male 218th Fighter Regiment, who have requisitioned everything of utility or value, leaving you with the scraps. Logistics overview. Pashkovskya is quite close to the city of Krasnodar, which is a linchpin in the German plans for seizing the Caucasus. Expect many of your missions to be flown very close to home. The supply situation is adequate, with rail lines serving the city of Krasnodar and trucks available to the air-based personnel nearby. Adequate supplies plus 0 to all scrounging repair rolls. Question: what completely unreasonable demand has been made on the regiment?
We can only eat after all of the men have eaten. Whatever's left.
That's a good one, too.
Because there's not enough food right now.
Very good. I like that. That's awesome.
It's rough, man.
That's awful.
Yeah, we get scraps. Good thing I know a cook. Guess which group's gonna be eating good?
You keep eating those cookies and then we're going to eat you.
Hey, I said group. I included you guys.
When is Lieutenant General Igor Miroshnikin? That is a name. Miroshnik.
You took Russian, not me.
That's in English. I have a harder time. If they would write it in Cyrillic, I would have an easier time than if they try and put it in English.
Because at least you would know what this...
Yeah, like
the
what the actual
characters
sound
need
is
to
supposed to be.
Yeah.
Miroshnich.
Uh-huh.
Miro.
KO.
Shichenko?
Just
Miro Shinchenko.
so
That sounds
difficult.
Asian.
Miro Shinchenko.
That's too many.
Well, it's Russian.
Oh, yeah, that's in Asia. I knew that. I was testing you.
Geography's hard. Miro
Maybe it's
Shinchenko.
like school. Like, when is Lieutenant General Igor Miroshnichenko, commander of the 4th Air Army, commander of the 4th Air Army, arriving for the inspection?
Is he? Maybe like in a week. Like we just get there and he's coming.
Within the week.
Yeah.
Within the week.
Like that's intense.
It's so March through May, so April,
Okay.
mid-April.
Sure.
Because the
Halfway
weather would be
Yeah.
favorable for him to travel, right? For sure.
Sounds good to me.
March sounds frozen and gross and muddy.
Yeah, it does. It sounds well. Russia sounds frozen and gross and
With
muddy.
the spring thaw.
There you go. Perfect.
Which is thawed. Men muddy.
So frozen.
Yeah.
What steps have been taken to keep the regiment efficient in such close quarters with her brothers in the 218th? So I feel like the implied thing here is that men and women working together would be inefficient. So what extra barriers have they taken
correct.
to make things more efficient?
Maybe they have us on more strict like free time, to where we're not able to, because we were pretty, you know,
Goosey.
We
yeah,
totally were.
with the men, like we could, you know, talk to them at any time pretty much, you know, because everybody was up and about. Maybe they have us on very strict, like, this is your sleeping time. You need to be sleeping. This is your
Is someone watching
duty
us?
time.
Is someone
Strictly
making
assigned
sure?
Oh, a minder. You guys could have a minder. Like the Polititruk could be paying more attention and have...
That's just what we need.
Maybe they just like had somebody in the like they assigned certain just random people
That we don't know.
to keep an eye on everybody.
Oh, as you gestured at Dasha, certain someone, you know, that we don't know is watching.
I think we have an officially assigned handler.
Okay.
Maybe like maybe each group or like each maybe like 4 groups.
Well,
one
like you're going to have
person's-
a barracks, right? And
Yeah.
so maybe there's one handler per barracks or something.
yeah, and like they're there to keep us in line and
Like the
report
RA and the
any
door.
kind of shenanigans.
Right.
If she likes you, maybe she
Okay,
doesn't see your
so
beer.
let me ask you this. Because you guys are kind of a high-profile section, do you think that you might get someone who's a little more...
Lenient.
not lenient, a little higher up to pay attention to you? Not necessarily the regimental Polititruk, because she has larger things to do.
Thank God.
But how about maybe the deputy Polititruk, the Lieutenant Sveta?
Yeah,
I would
we
say
like her.
because we do have a reputation for being somewhat wily.
Right on.
Would that
All right,
be a
so
word?
I think your guys' handler is, in fact, Lieutenant Sveta.
That's good because she likes us though. Sveta likes us.
I'd
It's
go
the other
easy
one that doesn't
throwing
like
around
us.
the good
I
when
mean,
you're talking about the Polititruk.
Right?
I mean, but she's the like not evil one.
Mm.
So
I don't know. I mean, Some people are good at deception.
True story. She's like, yes, I will be your friend.
I'll be your friend. Tell
Like
me,
somebody
tell
I
me
like
everything.
how. Yeah.
People are good at deception.
I was waiting for that one to come out. Oh.
Sensing some tension within the ranks. All right.
Seriously,
That's good.
What does
Have
the
at it.
shared military airfield at Pashkovskya look like?
So keep in mind that it started off as a civilian airfield. So you guys can add, like there'll be more things added to it, but it started off as a civilian airfield. So just keep that in mind when you
I
guys
think
sort
that
of
we
build
would
it
be
out.
super impressed with its modern, it's better
There's
than
no goats.
There are no goats.
Yeah, we actually have a runway.
It's got an actual.
Is it concrete? Is that like an actual
Yeah.
Right.
we have like a
It used to
legit
be-
landing. Yeah.
It's actually been created to be an airport. Airplanes can take off from it. There's
And there's an actual nice cafeteria.
Mess hall?
Yes, that place.
There's drainage ditches
Yes.
so that the airfield doesn't flood.
Oh.
And actual bathhouses and stuff.
Okay.
Not makeshift porta potty /
Right. You're not in
crap
the
showers.
the plywood huts that you used to be in anymore.
but
Yeah.
are we allowed to use them?
Only between the hours of 11 and 11:05.
Yeah, if you gotta,
I-
you
There's
better go
3
outside.
showers,
Yeah.
so good luck.
Y'all better shower together.
So where are the overcrowded women's barrack tents shared with the 586?
Oh, I'm sorry, tents. That said mentioned tents there, my bad.
And where... no. We have tents. And where are the spacious huts of the 218?
They're on complete opposite sides.
Okay.
We actually are down where when they land, mud and crap sprays all over our tents.
And they're in those nice Quonset, the half can style.
Yeah.
Plus they fly during the day, so we're trying to sleep, and there's all this
landing and
Yes.
sometimes we get crappy plane stuff, debris thrown against our tents.
I like how James doesn't have to work to torture us.
But
at all.
listen,
On our own.
here's what's cool about our not so ideal conditions. It's making us tough. We are so
Yeah.
tough. We are working in the worst conditions. We're flying in tar paper aircraft, and we're still alive.
That's right. And kicking butt.
When one of our planes crashes, someone says, "Give me a piece of paper and I'll make a new one."
That's right.
That's right. Does anybody have any twine?
Right. We just save a big ball of gum. It's fine.
What's your plane held together with? A lick and a promise? That's about it.
That's right. And these conditions would lead us to develop and discover duct tape. No. Little known,
It holds everything
Little
together.
known history fact.
The runways are right next to our tents.
Yes. It's amazing.
Yeah, and they set your tents up over there away from the men because you're in tents. They can put you quite literally anywhere. So that's what's.
Yeah.
Plus, this way they can see us crossing like it's nothing.
Yes,
but
that's
flat
right.
Oh, it's like
Yes.
it's a no
Good
woman's
luck, Vera.
land, quite literally, right?
Yeah. They're like, you cannot come over here.
Right.
Perfect. Where are the motor repair hard stands, the armorer's bunker, and the command tent?
Probably close to where the mess hall and stuff like that is.
So,
So on the big side over there, maybe in I feel like it should all be in a U shape, everything's nice and orderly.
motor. Okay, so I think it makes the most sense for the motor repair hard stands to be by the runways and stuff.
Definitely.
Someone at the end, just in case a plane comes off. It can come off the end and go straight into repair if that's needed. I don't know.
I'll have some hangers or whatever. Armorer's bunker. That could be over here too, I guess.
Sure.
Well, the armors are ones that, if I remember correctly, they put the bombs on the plane.
They are the
Yeah,
ones
so that
load
should
the
probably be
bombs.
close
Yep,
to
we
where the
talked about
hangars
that
and
last
stuff
time.
are, so they can make sure they don't have to travel a long way.
And the command tent. But I don't think the command tent wants to be right next to the ordinary people, so the mess hall is between them.
There you go.
So you don't have to walk around with the common soldiers to get to Chow. Okay. What object just beyond the perimeter is a stark reminder of war's cost?
Can we see the town from where we are? Maybe there's there was a large building got bombed. And so, like, you can see half of it has
Maybe it's
fallen.
a hospital or a school.
Oh, there you go, hospital. Yeah, maybe, like, we could see the hospital because of maybe, like, we're kind of on a hill and we can see down,
Is it a
you know, a
bombed
ways.
hospital?
Yeah, maybe they bombed the hospital. So, like, half of the hospital is, like, fallen over. And, like, part of it is still, you know, there, but you can see it's obviously been, like,
And
severely
it's still
damaged.
enough to where you can still tell it was a hospital at one point.
Yeah.
Sorry, doctor.
All right, is that all of them?
Yep.
All righty.
Expert drawing skills.
We need to fill out your command staff. So the regimental commander is still Major Bereshanskaya. Her chief of staff is Captain Lobo Deva. The regimental Polititruk is Captain Barsukova. Logistics and training officer is Senior Lieutenant Petrova. And the deputy Polititruk and your own personal minder is Lieutenant Svetlana Shermateva, but she goes by Sveta. Are we good?
So are we going to talk about the obvious thing?
What's that?
Where the heck is Vera?
Yeah. Oh, also,
Go ahead.
sorry, I was gonna say, I changed from Misanthrope to Dreamer. I can't remember. Didn't we buck against the boys' club? Didn't we do that in the last one a bit?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. So then
There
it
was
says
lots of bucking.
advance. So what is an advancement? Oh, okay. So then we can choose one of these. Okay.
Yep. So at this
Anybody
point, it's a new duty station. So if you want to change your role, you can.
I'm gonna go ahead and add a regard slot. Maybe.
Those are
Maybe not.
What did you choose?
Protect.
And what is it?
You can repair well when you change duty stations, advance if you saved someone's.
What were you before?
Before that, I was a leader.
And somebody did die, didn't they?
Yeah.
So you get the advance. Nice. Good times. There was like 3 people
Through
that
no
died.
fault or planning of my own.
Likely story. Right on. Did you change yours?
Yep.
What did you change to?
I was protector before, and I changed to adventurer. You can bring a plane wheels down well when you change duty stations. Advance if you walked away from a wrecked aircraft. Judging by our last mission, that one might be good.
I think I've been doing an ties thing wrong
What do you mean?
for the advancement. It says add a regard slot and fill it, and I've just been changing the ones that I already had. So I was like, why does Dasha have so many? And I've only got 3 on my thing. Oh.
I know.
Yeah, and
I only have 3 too.
Doing that.
And I,
Wait, I should-
and I have those on here. So and then like the plane Zagna, if it is removed, I have to take harm when I remove it if it's burned, like beyond repair.
So you have like 5 things.
Yeah.
Better hope we all stay intact.
Yeah. So
Oh man! So do you take one harm if one of the things that you have dies? Oh, so someone like went down in that plane
it's pretty risky.
that you had regard for.
Yeah.
Ooh man!
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to make that list and take a take a look at what you have over there.
You died from a broken heart.
You don't need to know any of this. It's fine. But yeah, I've got all 3 of my fellow airwomen and a plane. So
right on.
She's definitely
do you
taking
spell your
harm
name?
somewhere.
I've taken those things. But yeah, it can bite me in the butt for sure.
How do you spell your name, Dasha? Is it just D-A-S-H-A? I can't say
Yeah.
Dasha. My given name is Daria, I think.
Daria?
Yeah.
So what did you choose?
I mistrust Dasha the most, unfortunately.
Right on.
Things are happening. This is weird. What's going on?
Something is afoot.
Yes.
What did you choose for your role?
For my role, I have chosen Dreamer.
Dreamer?
You can weather an informal interview well. When you change duty stations, advance if you shared a premonition and it came true.
Somebody is preparing for the words. Right on. I like it.
I'm still on Team Albert. Don't worry.
Albert don't care.
Look, I can't help it if people do things that I have to talk about.
You guys will all arrive at...
Pashkovskya.
sorry.
I don't know how to say that.
Pashkovskya.
Pashkovskya. I got Trud Gornyaka down pretty good. I just had to say it like 8 times, and then I was like, it was drilled in there.
I'm never going to get General Igor's name down. General Igor.
What is it one more time?
Miroshnichenko.
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 Bless you.
Alrighty. So you guys will arrive back here at Pashkovskya, and you sort of have the layout of the land of how the runway is and where the barracks are and all that kind of stuff. So you guys, because it's not quite wintertime anymore like it was back at Trud Gornyaka, or not, it wasn't winter.
Yeah, I think so, because
Would have been
June
late
to
fall.
August. So
yeah.
okay, so but here you guys are in larger tents they have set up, and as you guys arrive, you'll have your duffel bags with your flight suit onesie or whatever, and boots and all that kind of stuff, personal effects, whatever, and you'll get bunk assignments, and you'll arrive at your tent, and when you get there, there will be 8 bunks in there. And you will see by the front door, by the entrance to the tent, there is a cot that is there, made 100% to regulation, whatever it is. If the turn down of the top sheet is 3.5 centimeters, that's exactly how it is, all neatly set up and taken care of, and everything put exactly where it's supposed to be in place. And seems pretty reasonable. That's probably Senior Lieutenant Sveta's bunk right there by the front door to hear if anybody's coming or going. And there are 7 other bunks in here.
I'm just so excited.
So when we showed up, did we show back up to Trud Gornyaka, or did we have a designated area?
No, you get orders to come here.
Oh, okay.
And then you sort of come here, like you meet somewhere in another military base and put you on a truck or a train probably. Because there are lots of railways that come through here. This is actually there's a decent sized city here, so this place is relatively well supplied because of the railways or whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, you guys will arrive there, and there will be 7 bunks plus the one that belongs to Sveta that is just exactly perfect.
I'm gonna take the one farthest away from her.
Okay, so if it's 4 and 4, right? So are you you're at the far end, but is it the one on the same side or the opposite side?
On the same side.
Same side as far away from her?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take the top bunk from...
They're
you're
just cots. There's no, because you
they're
guys are in
cots.
tents, so there's 4 cots on each side.
I'll take the one opposite of her.
So, and then Yulia, and you're across from her?
Yeah.
That's Gally. What about you, Dasha?
I'm next to her.
Okay.
She's keeping an eye on me. See, I told you. She's watching me.
Alrighty.
Somehow I'm still under the impression that you're my friend.
I am still your friend. I just mistrust you.
So there will be foot lockers sort of at the foot of them. That's actually probably what you guys bring is actually a foot locker.
And obviously, the space next to Yulia is being held because where's Vera?
So there's actually a foot locker
here
there with a trunk, and it said, oh wait, I forgot. Oksana is here.
Oksana!
So there will be 9 bunks in here, but one side will have 5. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then there's an empty spot that has like some storage things of like toiletries with a locker or something like that.
Okay.
So Oksana will take hers is her bunk is next to Dasha's, and then next to you is a foot locker that's already there, and it says Valentina on it.
Where's Vera? Did she not return?
I don't know. She didn't write me a letter or anything.
No, it has been radio silence
From Vera.
from Vera.
Dasha, have you heard from Vera?
I have not heard from Vera.
That's a bit strange.
Maybe she went home.
To stay? Her whole plan was to make it big like, what's her name?
Raskova.
Yeah,
Marina.
Raskova.
Maybe her wealthy, loving family got worried and made her stay home.
Bitter much? Right on. Alrighty, so you guys will be in here sort of milling about trying to figure out what's going on and whatever, and then...
Getting everything back. Trying to get back into the mindset. We actually had a nice reprieve.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy your time off?
Yeah, it was great.
Did you?
Yeah,
So
I
about the
did.
point that Dasha is going to answer, it's this... Wow! As this plane comes in and lands, you're like talking and you hear 2 words and then...
Blah, blah, blah.
like it's just a mouth moving and the flaps to your tent are like... yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
And I think everything's going to be fine.
Oh, what?
Did you notice there's no goats here?
Yeah, it's a good thing we can't splash mud on anybody. Or goat excrement.
Right? What am I
Okay,
going to
but
do
that was
without
hilarious.
What am I going to do without my usual
was.
greeting? How will I say hello to people?
I don't know.
So what are we going to do about this situation?
Well, where's Vera's box? Where's her locker?
It's not here. I don't know.
Who are we going to have with us then?
Apparently.
Wait.
Lieutenant Spectre.
I'm going to look down the things. Where's Asuka's stuff?
Oksana?
Oksana, yeah. Where's Oksana's? Oh, she's next to you.
me.
Oh, okay.
I
Never mind.
point. She's here. Foot Locker. And
Well, look,
look across from me. It
usually
says
have about
Katya.
4 of us. Where's...
Did Katya get sent home?
You're not sure. She's not here.
Is either one of the Oksana or the Valentina, is there stuff there yet?
They're Foot Locker.
They're Foot
Well,
Lockers
their
right
Foot
here.
Locker is, but is there stuff here? Like them?
No, they're not here.
I'm switching them.
So who are you switching?
Oksana's and Valentina's. So we've got like our 4 people.
Oh, okay. Down at the end. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I'm like, look, I want our 4, like, we at least need 4 people that we're comfortable with.
Right on. Right on. Okay. Very good.
So you see me do that as we're talking, and I'm looking around, and people are just kind of not paying attention. Do. Okay. I don't know who that chick is.
Me neither.
I mean, no offense. She might be awesome, but
She might not.
she's not a part of us yet.
All right, so a little bit of time will go by. You'll see that someone, it'll be someone that you don't recognize immediately, arrives. It's a
Excuse me.
female, and she is this lady right here, Evgenia, and her name is on one of the trunks in here as well, the Foot Lockers, and she arrives with a cot that's folded up, this foldable style, and she starts to put it together in the empty spot across from Sveta.
Who's that? We have 2 people watching?
Does she have political
No.
stuff or military stuff?
No, she has regular Night Witch's pilot gear on.
What's her rank?
She is, that's a good question. She will be
Question.
so she will be Sergeant Evgenia. She's got sergeant stripes on. So she's sort of putting this cot together, and she's not super huffy about it, but you can tell she's not happy to be doing this and doing whatever,
I'll go over.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Galia.
She says, Evgenia.
Do you want some help?
Sure, yeah.
All right. I'll help her get her stuff out and
Okay.
set up her cot and put
Right.
it together like she's supposed to.
Right, so you guys get this thing put together, and she's like, I'm not sure who this other person is that's got to be stuck in here with us, but she points, hers is sort of right next to that, you know what I'm saying? So second row in, basically. It's like, I don't know, they're squeezing one more
person in
one
here.
more person in here.
Really?
Yeah.
At least we'll be warm.
We're practically on top of each other as it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have this vision of those green army cots, right? They're, I don't know, whatever it is, 2 feet wide, 2.5 feet wide, maybe.
With maybe a foot in between each one of them.
Yeah, basically. So there's you can't just walk down between the cots to the end. You have to step over the Foot Locker because the Foot Locker is a little bit wider than the cot on both sides.
Yeah.
So basically it's Foot Locker, Foot Locker, Foot Locker, Foot Locker. And
Yeah.
then,
They're damn near right next to each other.
Right, exactly. That's kind of it's the vision that I have of it. And then you guys aren't actually on the ground. There's wood slatting that the tent is on top of or whatever.
Boards and
yeah.
crap, like they had at the makeshift hospital area.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm at the end of the row, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to scoot my cot farther into the tent a little bit. That way, when we have to scoot them over later, it looks like I've made concessions, but really I'm not getting any closer to the end of the tent than
Okay,
before.
right on. Right on.
So these tents, they are just over the boards. So essentially you could just lift them up, right?
Lift the boards up?
No, lift the tent up.
The edge of the tent.
Oh, yeah. Actually, these in the summertime, if it's really hot, the sides roll up. And so you can just have, a roof, kind of
Yeah.
and then the doors roll up as well. So then you can just have the sort of, awning, and then you can have nice airflow or whatever. So.
Aha.
Nice airflow. Not like those sturdy huts. I'm sure I'm glad we're in a tent.
Yes, because it's so hot in Russia.
So actually, where you guys are at, it's near the Mediterranean, so near the Black Sea. So it's actually a pretty nice climate here. It's not terrible.
That's surprising.
You're right, yeah. Yeah. So
We could suntan out here.
You could. You definitely could.
Land an aircraft with the light from my glow.
So yeah, I'll finish helping her set it up. Well,
All right, so she'll finish setting it up. You guys get it kind of in position, whatever, and then she goes over and I don't know, like, you know, throws herself down, like, you know, plops down on the bunk or whatever, and gets something out, and she's reading a book of some kind or whatever.
Well, after I help her, then I'll leave her alone.
Okay. She seems kind of, aloof. Like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of like, I'm a little bit better than the rest of you slackers. Kind of like that kind of a feeling you get off of her. Sort of like Vera, I guess, in a way, when you guys first met Vera.
Here in spirit. I'm going to double check my area to make sure that everything is up to snuff.
Okay, right on.
And when I'm done with that, I'm going to check everybody else's area too, because I'm not trying to get us in any trouble on day one.
So go ahead and roll me an eyeball then. Go ahead and roll plus skill as you assess the area around here.
9.
So you hold 1. All right, so Yulia is sort of like looking around. You can tell that she's trying to see if things look out of place or whatever. You guys will hear, not a commotion, but like several people walking this way, sort of smoking and joking, basically. And you can hear that they're all female voices, basically, right? Mm-hmm. So piling in at this point are 4 more women come piling in here. So there's a total of, I guess, 9 of you now. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cramped inside here. So there's a Valentina who looks to be pretty young, inexperienced, probably her first deployment. She looks very young. She is also a sergeant. And we also have Oksana arrives. You guys know Oksana, clearly. She is a junior lieutenant now. We have Lieutenant Polya and Junior Lieutenant Masha. So as I look at some of these, I feel like this is like the mirror image of your guys' section almost. We have the really young person.
The Vera.
We have this Masha looks kind of meek and bookish a little bit. We have this confident-looking officer. You know, like, I feel like we just have sort of like more or less the mirror image of your guys' section. It's kind of funny, actually. So these will be the 5 women who are here, who are sharing your tent with you guys right now. And they come in, and Oksana is among them as she gets here. I mean, it's not uncommon for you guys to arrive at different times. It just depends on what part of the country you're coming from, when the train runs, and all that kind of stuff. So,
Sergeant.
So we have Lieutenant Polya, Junior Lieutenant Masha, Sergeant Valentina, Sergeant Evgenia, and then Junior Lieutenant Oksana. And you guys know her. She's part of your section already.
I missed one. Who was the other junior lieutenant?
Masha.
Masha? M-A-S-H-A?
Yep.
Thank you.
No problem. Sort of like wall of shame of like killed characters there.
Claudia was not killed.
I really enjoy writing KIA on them. I think it's fun.
That's terrible.
It's awesome though. It's like a certain amount of finality. I can't wait till one of you guys die, and then I'm going to make you write it on there.
He's going to film it. He's going to put it on the podcast. Watch.
That's right. This is what death and shame feels like. So they all come in, sort of pull the tent flaps back, and they all come walking in. And you guys will obviously notice or recognize Oksana. And she's kind of in the middle of this group of people. And you know that moment when like they've had this tent by themselves? They knew that it was going to be full of people, but it hadn't quite happened yet. And then you're like, oh, like they're finally here. And now
it's a tent full of
we're stacked in here, the like female version of nut to butt, basically. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and then they'll all kind of like, you know, work their way into the tent. And then Oksana will see you guys and realize it's you guys that are here, and her face will light up and she'll come over to you guys.
Yeah, we'll like wave her over, like show her boxes down there by ours.
So she comes over and she sort of like, you know, like looks like, wait, does a double take, and then just shrugs her shoulders, whatever, I don't really care. and then piles over and gives you guys a big hug and asks how things are going, and, you know, what did you do while you were home, and all this kind of stuff. How's your grandpa, you know, all that kind of stuff, you know, because I mean, like, you guys know each other, you've shared stories and whatever, and broken bread and whatnot. So you sort of rekindle that friendship. The rest of the group will take note, like, not like in a bad way, but they, you know, you can tell that there's
Obvious
camaraderie and that kind of stuff. And then...
I'm going to ask her if she's seen Vera. She's clearly been here longer.
So, yeah, she says, no, I thought she'd be coming with you guys.
That's weird.
She said, they set up another bunk, though, so...
Oh.
You know, maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure. Sveta should be here. You could ask her if you wanted.
Yeah, we might do that.
she smiles like, yeah. So, on your eyeball roll, you got to hold one. Do you want to ask your question now, or do you want to save it, or... Now, this isn't a comprehensive list, so I like the list from the mashed one a lot better. You know what I'm saying, Emo? If you want me to pull that list out, I can.
So I'd like to do some version of, what does she want?
Who?
So, Sveta. Like, is there something I know about her? Like, we've been working together for some months. Is there something I know that she's always very particular about this thing?
Oh.
So I can make sure I can pay attention, is it...
Okay.
Obviously, it's all the things, but everybody's got the thing.
Yeah. Everybody's like, oh, no.
Is she like, beds? Is it boots? What is it? What's her thing?
So the one thing that she is like her pet peeve, I guess, is what you're asking for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's young, sort of like chomping at the bit, ready to go. I think it's going to be... Let me see her picture. Let's see here. I don't know. I look at her. I see some windswept hair, but I also see a uniform that looks like it's on correctly. Mm-hmm. So I think uniforms are her thing. Like, that it has to be sort of like not wrinkly. It's got to be pressed in the right way. And your ribbons have to be lined up just so. And, your shoulder bars are in the right spot and not turned over funny. All that kind of stuff. Like, she's very meticulous about, like, your G-line has to be, exactly straight and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, she's not going to like me very much. My uniform is tattered.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
It's been through a crash and a trek through the woods. And
it's been through a lot. I mean, I keep my stuff
I forgot that's on your guys' character sheet. So yours is tattered?
Yeah, mine is tattered.
What is yours?
Mine is regulation.
Oh, that's convenient, isn't it? And Dasha?
Mine is regulation as well.
Oh.
Thank goodness.
So they're going to have extra kitchen patrol duty because of you. Is basically what I'm hearing. extra KP.
Be excited about kitchen patrol duty.
That's right.
Oh, dang it.
Make sure all of our stuff's done.
You said it. You can't take it back now.
That's true. That's true. No, it's all good. It's all good.
Oh, dang. Again? I am so upset.
More mashed potatoes for us.
Alrighty. So, yeah, there's this awkward moment where everybody's here, and I think there's that part where everybody kind of, like, makes their way around introducing each other and who everybody is, what their rank is, where they came from, or whatever. So, just real quick, this Lieutenant Polia is going to be the most experienced pilot among them. She served basically the same places you guys have, or whatever. I think you guys have probably heard of her, but not in a good or bad way. Just sort of know who she is and that she does her job, right? No great successes, but no great failures either, okay? This Sergeant Valentina, she is very young like Vera, young. She has that, baby face, still very naive, fresh out of flight school, ready to go. And then, I kind of already mentioned this, Evgenia has this sort of uppity look to her, like she's looking for trouble.
I thought you meant she just had a chip on her shoulder.
Yeah. That, all of it. Better than you guys, even though she's just a sergeant and whatnot. And then Junior Lieutenant Masha, I think she looks to me like the kind of person who looks like a kind of meek, quiet person, but likes to sort of play on that, but when no one's watching, likes to have a really good time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, one? You look innocent, Masha. But it's like, oh, Masha. Yeah. Okay. And then you guys know Oksana. So, all right.
Well, I'm going to make sure everybody's uniform is in order.
Okay. Right on. So you're going over yours, making sure it's good. Hang on a minute. Let me have a D6.
I can't do anything about it. You want to give me a new uniform?
How many choices are on your sheet for uniform?
4.
4? So give me the first one.
Regulation?
It's fists. I rolled a hammer and sickle. So Oksana's uniform is regulation as well.
Okay.
So.
What about these other people? If one of us gets in trouble, I gotta live with these people.
Right.
don't care. We just met 5 minutes ago.
So I think not Valentina. Here we go. Evgenia's is 100% correct. You know what I mean? She's very, very proper about that kind of stuff. I think Sergeant Valentina's uniform still has the creases from when it was in the package.
Hers came crease. Mine came crumpled in a box.
Yeah. Wait, when did they get new uniforms?
Right on. So yeah, hers is it's brand new, and so it's not like perfectly put together. It's put together correctly, but it's just brand new. You know, it's still got a little bit of stiffness to it. And then Polya's is correct, but it's worn. Mm-hmm. And then Masha's, I think, is probably just a little wrinkly, and it's functional, you know, but it's whatever. You know how it goes in the plane a lot, in and out, busy, go, whatever. Yeah. No one's looking at my uniform in the plane.
Need to press your uniform.
Oh, she's like, you know, none of that matters. We're going to be in the plane soon enough.
Yeah, we will be. But you know who won't be? Senior Lieutenant Sveta. And that's who's sleeping right over there. And her pet peeve in this world is uniforms.
So I think go ahead and I think this is acting up. So go ahead and act like a natural-born Soviet airwoman, right? You think that's fair? Mm-hmm. That the right one? Go ahead and roll plus medals.
Get the bicycles.
That's an 11.
But that's good.
All right, so choose 2.
So I'm going to make somebody do what I want.
Okay.
Go steam your shit.
And I'm going to add one to the mission pool.
Okay.
Boom.
I'm going to grab
Showing leadership.
That's right.
And then I'm going to do my best to help old tattered McGee over here. We'll do the best we can with that thing.
I've got like some holes from where we had the crash.
Tatters McGee.
I'll get out the sewing kit and we'll do what we can.
Alrighty, so you're going to try and fix it up as best as you can?
I don't know what to do. Can we get a new uniform? I mean, how could you be mad at me? I mean, this is what it's been through. We had a couple crashes.
I have an idea.
Okay.
I have an idea.
Okay, what's the idea?
When Senior Lieutenant Svita gets here and starts to dress us down, I'm going to say, Galya's uniform is a disgrace. It's full of holes. She's a celebrated war hero.
I got a medal.
Came back from across enemy lines, and she can't even get a new shirt.
Okay, so you're going
to
to
it back, like,
avoid the attack by attacking first.
Right,
okay.
That's right.
Right on.
Like, what's a girl got to do around here to get a shirt?
All right, so you're sort of waiting for this moment, right? That you've sort of
trying to get your goal up,
staged, you know, pumping yourself up, and about that time, you know, it eventually comes where Sveta, she'll throw pull the corner of the tent open, and she sort of slides inside, you know, with her blonde hair sort of always windswept or whatever, and she stands there tall, you know, and
we'll all stand at attention.
Tall and proud.
At our footlockers.
Okay.
We're like nose to nose.
Pretty much.
So she smiles, actually.
Look at you.
I got to laugh.
Oh.
It's not a good idea, but I can't help it.
Don't get kicked out.
Do you feel like you can hold it together, or do you feel like...
Yes, because I know what she's up to, but also she's sitting here giving me the...
Right, okay. So there's that moment, and then you steal your nerve, and she tells each of you, or she just announces to all of you, you know, at ease, you ladies can relax. And she turns to, like, get something out of her footlocker, but you feel like she's sort of trying to look like she's doing something. Do you know what I mean? What do you guys do? So everyone else kind of uncomfortably goes to doing something that is not making a lot of noise or anything, you know?
I'm going to approach her.
Okay.
Senior Lieutenant Sveta?
I'll go up behind her. I'll stand there too.
She looks up and she's like, Lieutenant Yulia?
Senior Lieutenant Yulia now.
Senior Lieutenant. Okay. I remember from Trud Gornyaka. It's been a while.
Yes. How was your leave?
It was good. I went back to Moscow. Went to several party meetings and that kind of stuff. And it was a great time. It was a good time. Well, you know, seeing old friends and, yeah.
Very good. I had something I wanted to kind of bring up to you. As you know, you were at Trud Gornyaka. Our squadron has been through quite the ordeal.
Yes.
And I have a concern. We do our best, absolute best, to, present our squadron appropriately and make sure we're all up to snuff. We had secondhand uniforms to start with. Gallia's uniform.
I'm standing behind her.
Right.
I mean, we're doing the best we can, but there's holes in it. It's threadbare.
I'll pull it up. Like there's like a rib here. There's like a gun hole from
it's unbefitting of a decorated
rips and
soldier.
A few singe marks from my plane that went up in flames.
So she will stand up and comes walking down the aisle, and you hear her boots clack against the wood as she gets closer and closer to you, like her eyes looking, like sizing you up, sort of one of those things. And she sort of, walks around, looks at your side, sees this rip. She puts her, she might, kind of poke at some of the holes or whatever. And she shakes her head and says, well, go ahead and roll me a roll plus medals. I think this sounds like an act up if you're trying to make this happen.
I have regard with Gallia, so that gives me +1, right?
No, because you're trying to manipulate Sveta. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's involved in it, but you're trying to manipulate Sveta. Oh!
Ooh, this is an
double sickles, but you are rolling to act like a natural-born Soviet airwoman.
Yes!
So
that's like a good thing.
Yeah. Our house rule from, I think, session 1 applies or whatever. And she just stands there looking and shaking her head. And she just turns to all of you, addressing the whole group of you, and she says, this is a damn shame. She says, you ladies go up every night and risk your lives, and they can't even put a clean shirt on you. This is appalling. As she stands there, she sort of turns red in the face a little bit, she's just she's
pissed.
Yeah, she's mad. So you need to choose 2.
From behind her, I'm looking at you like, oh dang!
I don't really care if Gallia gets a new shirt or not, honestly. I don't think anybody does. So I would like to add one to the mission pool and ensure there's no consequences against us for acting. So if she goes dresses down somebody from the men's unit, that's all on her. I don't want to get follow-up from that.
All right, so she turns red in the face and she says that she is going to go down to the armory and talk to the supply sergeant and get all of this worked out right away. This is unacceptable.
Thank you.
And she stomps off.
Thank you very much. When she comes back, I'm going to hold my head out.
There's a lot of hushed, half laughter and head shaking and oh, I saw that, one of those moments.
Oh, when we slight high-fived?
Right, no. When Sveta leaves the thing and everybody realizes what just happened and they're like, oh, that was close. One of those sort of moments, right? So she stomps off out of the tent to go find someone to scream at. And
instead of you.
Thank God.
So as she steps out, you guys will see another footlocker kind of come through the flaps first, basically. And behind it is Nina, you see, is behind the trunk. And she looks and sees all of you standing here. And then the one trunk at the front door. Oh. No, at the front door that just got set up, that Valentina set up, wasn't for her. That was just, she was setting up in the cot. Looks at that, looks across at Sveta's cot, and her shoulders kind of slump a little bit.
Who's bunked next to Dasha?
Next to
Valentina
Dasha
now?
is, actually, it's Oksana is next to her.
Okay.
No, I put Oksana next to...
Oh, so it's Valentina.
It's Valentina. Yeah, Valentina's next to her.
I'm going to tell Valentina she needs to move her stuff down to the end cot.
And she's the senior.
Yeah, so
I am going to totally brighten up. Oh my gosh, it's my favorite person.
So go ahead and roll. Man, you're all about the acting up. So go ahead and roll plus medals. Or wait, yeah, I feel are you doing this pulling rank and doing this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sergeant, move your stuff.
Sergeant, you need to move your stuff down.
I hope this works.
Come popsicles again.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay, cool. I got an 11.
Oh, dang, man. You are all about it. All right, so choose 2.
I get what I want, and there's no consequences.
Okay, fair enough. So Valentina looks at you like, oh, and and then it's like you can tell she's not used to this sort of hierarchy of rank yet, and she's like, but, and then as soon as that like syllable leaves her mouth, she shuts it,
everybody else
and
looks at
she
her.
stops, and she's like already closing. Like it's like before the syllable has crossed the tent, she's already putting things away.
I'm going to help her.
Oh, here, let me help you with that. Go away.
Okay, so she will pack her things up, and she, it doesn't take much. Like, have a whole lot out. So she rolls her bedroll up, her blankets or whatever. Whatever few things she puts away, and moves her stuff down to the end.
What rank is Nina?
I don't know if that was ever established. But she works as a mechanic, so she doesn't have to automatically be an officer. But I feel like she has been in this since the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that at this point she's probably a junior lieutenant, and she is in charge of the repairing of the. Like, she still works and does repair, but she's in charge of the garage, basically, right?
Do all of our planes follow us here too?
Yeah, if they are still in working condition, they are.
Because it'd be really funny if they didn't, and now they had all these pinup girls painted on the plane. Nina looks like she could be Masha's sister.
They kind of
sister, but it's just the glasses.
Yeah. All right, I think I have the seating chart made out now. All right. So she sort of shimmy slides down the aisle and sets her foot locker down and gives you guys hugs and reminisces and all that kind of stuff. And she asks, have you guys seen the planes yet?
What's wrong with the planes?
Well, they're still the same planes we fly.
Well, I thought you were going to tell us something worse.
No, they're all in working condition. They had overhauls while they were in transition and all that kind of stuff. So they've been patched up as best as they probably can be patched up. So hopefully they hold together through this deployment, and we'll see how it goes. But they stripped them down, and
they took our gun.
No, I managed to work that out before they left.
Yeah, you did.
But they just have the tail numbers on them now and stuff.
Well, all of her painting? All of the pictures?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I can paint them again.
We're gonna paint them again.
I just didn't want you to walk in there and see it all at once and be upset and whatever before you went up in the air to fly. I thought it was better to find out now.
But they didn't take the nose art off the men's plane.
Shrug, grumble,
Maybe I'll put you on one this time.
Oh, don't do that.
Oh, come on.
All right. We have to change the names? Like, they don't have the same names anymore?
The planes?
No,
No, so you guys have 2 of them that survived, right? Or
no, they all made it.
They're all...
Oh, they all made it? I thought we lost a plane.
No, they were all damaged.
Oh.
So now they're...
Okay.
Okay, because I have regard for a plane, and if...
Yeah,
I need to fix that.
We did lose one before, the Tibber one, but we haven't lost another one since then.
Okay.
So we have the Comrade, Gordost, Suka, and Zagnut.
Okay, very good. So which one is the reserve plane?
Zagnut.
Zagnut is remaining in the reserve?
Or at least it was, unless we...
You guys can move it however you want.
Yeah. That was
So,
the reserve one.
If you feel like a plane does good enough to warrant being rotated out, that's all good.
And I just have regard for it because I landed it and survived, so I have regard for
Right.
it. Yeah.
Very good.
Comrade is irritable, but vengeful seems worse. Irritable bowels and Montezuma's revenge. So when do we fly our first mission? Has anybody heard? Do we get like a night to relax, or is it straight to business?
Probably straight to business. When do we ever get to relax? Very rarely.
So Nina will tell you guys that she heard that they're still waiting for a few people to sort of trickle in before we start actually flying missions.
Oh, we might get a night of... I heard from a credible source that the food is kind of scarce right now.
Smooth. Very good.
That's not very good. That's very bad.
Nah, I've been hungry before.
Yeah. You know who's not going to be hungry? The men.
Oh, you were going to say you.
We're not going to be hungry.
Well, does anybody want to go look and see if there are, like, fruit trees and berry bushes around? If they're not going to feed us.
Let's go scope the area.
Yeah.
Let's go see if there's things that we
See
can
if
find.
there's something we can scrounge up.
All right. So you guys want to kind of poke around and see what you can find?
Yeah.
We're just going to
All
lay
right.
of the land anyway.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Here,
let's
so
go wander.
just walk around.
I'm sure
See what's about.
that's allowed still, right? Can't be sitting in here the whole time doing nothing.
Yeah, there's some free time, but
As of right now, nobody's told me it's not allowed.
yeah,
Well, and they haven't told us yet that we can't go hang out with the dudes either.
that's already kind of
Well,
supposed to be a
Yeah.
so.
Well, they didn't say we can't cross the line unless we're eating yet.
Well, and the mess hall's on the other side of the runway anyway. so-
Exactly.
True.
I was going for food.
I think it sounds like you guys are just going to be scrounging about, right? Mm-hmm. So you can get a lay of the land while you guys scrounge. So, all right. So, well, someone needs to. We'll just have one roll for you guys, as sort of as a group, since you guys are all out doing it. So, I need someone to roll plus luck.
I have +2 luck.
So you,
I think you just selected yourself.
All right.
congratulations.
9.
9. Right on. So on a 7 through 9, you get what you want, but need to choose 2. So you got are you a misanthrope?
Not anymore.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Sweet. If you are a misanthrope, you don't have to choose 1. So you are out looking around outside of the airfield and the airbase a little bit, trying to get a lay of the land, see if there's anything that you guys can forage out here or whatever. I'm
going to say that we attract some unwanted attention
okay.
and probably get slightly poor quality stuff. So maybe what we find isn't as good as we hoped.
All right, so poor quality. You guys are out looking around. I think, there's the airports are always outside of town, so I think there's probably berry bushes and that kind of stuff that are here. But it is kind of late in the season, so there's some berries on there, but they're not the best. They're a little over-ripened or whatever. I mean, they're edible and they're still good, but they're just, not at the what you would really want. And in this whole process, you guys kind of get a feel for the area around the airfield. Do you guys want to establish a couple landmarks or features around the airfield, like not at the base, but like in the surrounding area?
We know there's a burned out hospital on one edge of the perimeter.
So that's good. There's a town that is very close. So we'll say that hospital, it's a big hospital, right? So it's visible from the airfield, but we'll say it's further away. Like the town is a little ways away. We'll say it's like, I don't know, 10, 15-minute walk to the town maybe or something like that, down the road or whatever. So, but if you guys want to establish a couple features that are outside the airfield, not necessarily, if you want them related to the city, that's all good, but anything that you want, I'm okay with doing.
Maybe there's like a close farmhouse.
Farmhouse is good. Is it occupied?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's like an older couple that lives there.
Okay. So which direction from the airfield is it? Go ahead and flip your dude over. So you got north, south, east, west.
Put the hospital over here. If that makes any difference.
Okay, so we'll put it maybe on like the other side.
Okay. So it's to the
And
west.
maybe to the southwest.
Okay. So there's an empty farmhouse there. What do they farm there?
I don't know. I don't know a lot about the
Well, it's
besides potatoes.
potatoes. So you're sort of in the Mediterranean, so it's got a long grow season because of the temperature. So it could be basically almost anything. So potatoes, wheat, corn.
They grow olives over?
Yeah, but it could be olives. It'd be trees, olive trees.
Yeah, olive trees.
Sounds good. Very good.
And chicken.
And chickens.
Because everything's chicken.
Chickens. All the chickens.
Because they're easy. Right on. And another feature. One more.
Maybe just outside the farm area, there's a well.
Well, that'd probably
like a
be
well?
part of the farm, wouldn't it?
Well, it could be another well that's not part of the farm, though. Like, another one, like an abandoned well just somewhere out from the woods. A weird, creepy abandoned
Creepy well.
abandoned well. Right on. So it's a source of clean water, though, presumably, that's just sitting there, off on its own, that no one might know about, which could be handy in a pinch, in a war zone.
place to put somebody you don't like.
True story. Dump him in the well, ruin the water, but body disposed of. Check. Very good.
It is justified.
Does the farm have pigs? The pigs will eat anything.
Well, maybe if we cut him up real small.
It's Night Witch's the Monty Python version. It appears he's been pecked to death.
All right, so you attract some unwanted attention. So I think the only logical choice for unwanted attention at this point is Senior Lieutenant
Oh, crap sticks.
Sveta. Or no, it's just Lieutenant Sveta, right?
It's Lieutenant.
Lieutenant, okay. So you guys are, I think you're on your way back. Mm-hmm. You've already found these places and whatever. And you're on your way. Or do you guys want to make, before we do this, do you guys want to make contact with the people that live in the farmhouse? Are you just going to see it's there and like not pay attention to it? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just kind of wondering, like.
That's all good. I didn't want to steal that moment for you guys if you wanted to have it. Okay, so you guys are on your way back with sort of like, I don't know, more or less that sort of like, the apron full of berries or whatever. You know how you always see them carry them in the movies and stuff. And walking back across the airfield, you see Lieutenant Sveta, and she has that sort of, she's not red in the face, but she has a scowl, a definite, scowl on her face. And I don't know, you guys are walking back, you're not dragging ass tired yet because you haven't had to fly any missions. So I think you're kind of smoking and joking as you guys walk. Do you think that's fair to say?
Might be quite literally smoking.
Ah, that's fine. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we probably have cigarettes and stuff from our visit home.
So she hears, the noise attracts her attention, and she looks over. And at first she's walking, and then she does this sort of stutter step as she realizes it's you guys walking over here. And she, if I look at that correctly, where you guys drew those two things are on the men's side of the encampment. Is that correct?
I mean, they're on the command staff side of the...
Okay. But it could be construed that if you were a super fair Polititruk officer, you
we are on that side.
So she does this stutter step thing, like, that moment of like, what the hell? And she stops and waits for you guys to come walking towards her.
Then we'll walk a little faster and get up to her.
So when you guys get up there, she looks at you guys and she says, I realize since you guys you ladies just got here that I forgot to tell you. But there are new rules in place here to ensure that peak efficiency is reached among all of the soldiers, which means... Thanks for listening. This has been an episode of Just One More Fix. Music has been provided by Kevin MacLeod. You can find him at incompetech.com. You can support us at patreon.com/JustOneMoreFix or follow us on Twitter @JustOneMoreFix.